him, how are you feeling at that moment? Feel a little intimidated, right? A little scared, a little like, all right, bro, like, you know, see you later. I mean, I don't know about you, that's how I would feel, right? I'd be like, well, maybe this isn't wise, let's kind of, you know, let's head out. But this is clearly not, this whole area west of the Jordan, not a safe place for Jesus at all. People wanting to kill him. Now, for those of, I know there's some kids here in the audience, yes, is that right? We got some kids? Can anybody tell me what is a place that you really don't like? I need a kid, or a couple of kids to volunteer. Tell me, what's a place you really don't like? Yes. What'd you say? Egypt. That is a very politically aware kid right there. Wow. Dictatorial rule, lack of constitutional authority. Agreed. Egypt. Well done. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead. School. Can any kids relate to that? Yes. Sometimes school, absolutely. Anyone else? Yeah? Hell. Hey. Alright, now what's a place, for the kids, what is a place that you do like? What's a place that's really fun? That whenever you go there, it's like amazing! Oh my gosh! Maybe you want to have your birthday there. Maybe this is like, oh man, this place. Yeah, over here. Sorry? The American Girl Store! Yes! There we go! There we go! Well done. Okay, yes.
New Rock City.
What is it? New Rock City. What is New Rock City?
That's next to your house.
My house?
Yeah.
What is it? What's an arcade thing? It's an arcade?
Entertainment.
Okay, there we go. Good, okay. One more? We have one more over here? No? Yeah? Do you have one?
Oh, he just whispered it. Toy Story.
A toy store. There we go. Alright, so Jesus is going from a place that's like Egypt or hell or, you know, somewhere bad to like the American Girl Store. Okay? He's crossing the Jordan here, and it says, as he crosses the Jordan, it says he crosses this Jordan, it says, and many people came to him. He doesn't even go to them, right? This is in John 10, verse 41. It says, so he goes across, so now they go, you know, now they go to like the east side, right? So they're in like Times Square, now they go to, I don't know, whatever's on the east side. I don't really go to the east side, but there's good things over there, I guess. Maybe he goes to the Met. And it's like, people are just like flocking to him, like, tell us, this is amazing, oh my gosh, come on, you know. And they're just like coming to him out of the woodworks, like, really? Like, you know, running over, like, and he says he doesn't even have to really do a lot. It says they come to him and they said, John never did this kind of thing, but everything he said was true. And that place, many people are believing him. So he has this incredibly effective ministry that's going on in the American Girl Store. That's like, I mean, it's amazing the things that are going on. Where he just come from this terrible Egypt-like place. So you can imagine the disciples are feeling pretty good. Now let's keep reading here and see what happens. John 11, verse 1. Now a man named Lazarus was sick. He was from Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. This Mary, whose brother Lazarus now lay sick, was the same one who poured perfume on the Lord and wiped his feet with her hair. So the sister sent word to Jesus, Lord, the one you love is sick. When he heard this, Jesus said, this sickness will not end in death. No, it is for God's glory, so that God's Son may be glorified through it. Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. Yet when he heard that Lazarus was sick, he stayed where he was 2 more days. Then he said to his disciples, let us go back to Times Square, to Egypt, to these bad places. Let us go back to Judea, across the Jordan. But Rabbi, they said, a short while ago the Jews tried to stone you, and yet you are going back there? Jesus answered, are there not 12 hours of daylight? A man who walks by day will not stumble, for he sees by this world's light. It is when he walks by night that he stumbles, for he has no light. A little bit kind of confusing about what he means there. Say, why are you going back to this dangerous place? He says, there's 12 hours in a day. And if you walk in the day, you won't stumble. What is he saying? I think he's saying Jesus being the light of the world and God's will being the light. He's saying if we are willing to follow God, follow Jesus where he goes, he says even if it's a dangerous place, you're not going to stumble. But it's when you choose to follow your own way, to walk in the darkness, where you're not sure where to go, where Jesus is going this way, but I'm going off on my own. Because even a place that may look safe, you're going to stumble. It's only by walking in the light, by walking with Jesus, by staying, even through the danger, where we can keep from stumbling. Now, here's the problem. I think for many of us, and this is certainly my temptation, we follow Jesus the way that I would follow my mom in the mall when I was little. Which was, and maybe some of the kids here have this experience too. If you're old enough, not when you're little, tiny, but my mom would want to do a bunch of shopping in the mall. So she would take me and my brother, and she would usually drop us off, this is like in elementary school, middle school, whatever, and drop us off at like a store that we liked, that we would have fun in, and then she could go take care of a few things that she had to take care of because we didn't want to be in places where she went. I still don't know because I don't do that kind of shopping. And then she would come back, and she'd get us when we're done, when she was done. And I think sometimes we're like that with Jesus, right? We'll go with him to the food court because that's fun, We'll go with him to some fun stores when things are good. But he says, "Oh, I'm heading off to this dangerous area." We'll say, "We'll just wait right here. You do your thing and come back, and we'll meet you on the other side." Can you guys relate to that at all? Isn't that the temptation, right? Because Jesus likes to go to dangerous places. Jesus says, "You know what? I know it's scary, but I'm heading there because we have great work to do here." And we say, "Jesus, that looks too dangerous for me." He says, No. You staying here when I'm gone, that's dangerous. You staying in the safe place when I go off and do something dangerous, that's really where the danger is. These safe places, they are comfortable. And they seem nice, and they seem like spiritually kind of like a good idea, at least initially. I think we felt this a lot in this whole transition. I think we've certainly been dealing with this. You move to a new ministry or kind of go through a new phase in life, and you're kind of like, I don't know if I can really stretch myself, right? I need to find some good boundaries around my life so that, we don't go crazy, we don't, do foolish things. So we move up to Rockland and we find a nice little Bible talk that we can be a part of with a bunch of great couples, and we get in there and we're like, okay, let's get our place down. And we don't really need to reach out to people so much because we just need to make sure that we're kind of taken care of and get our relationships in place. And then, it's a new ministry, I don't even know where I can really serve, and so I'm just going to kind of sit and maybe sit in the back and just kind of take it in because I don't really know what I'm supposed to do. I need to find a way to be safe in this new environment. Or I have a baby and, what do I do with this thing? And so, then you're like, can I take her out? I guess not, or maybe I can. And then, can we have people over? Probably not, at least initially. And a lot of these are good things. But you see what I'm saying? We try to find out, how can I keep myself safe during this whole change? And this is the place that Lauren and I were in, at least for a few months when we moved up there, into Rockland, trying to figure out how do we, where's kind of the safety for us? How can we make sure that our needs are met when we get to this new place? Well, this can quickly turn into complacency. Yeah. That being obsessed and focusing on thinking about where are the good boundaries so I'm not overly stretched out and so I'm taken care of. It can start in a good place. We need to make sure that we are taken care of. But if we stay there and don't say, okay, I understand this, now let's move forward and serve, we can so easily become complacent. And I certainly felt that challenge. Absolutely up in Rockland. Come up there, we got this great Bible talk, there's all these great couples, we feel like we're good. in campus, like, we're like doing everything we can, trying to get these Bible talks, moving and helped out and all that. Come to this Mary's Bible talk, so many mature disciples doing great, and we feel like we're good. We can just kind of relax. And I think, and for us, I think that was certainly a challenge. And I think also, even with our schedule, and I think just having a regular job now, regular job, right, has helped me to understand more about some of the challenges that people face.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we work, up. I mean, when I was working here in the city, I was up at 4:50 in the morning. 4:50, okay? Taking a bus by 5:20, or in the car to go to the bus station, then take a bus. Get down to the city, at work by 6:40. Then we leave like 4:30, something like that, maybe a little bit later, depending on work. But then I'm home, you're like, exhausted, eat a little dinner, and I gotta be in bed by like 9:30 to be able to survive, right? And I'm like, this is just day in and day out, day in and day out, day in and day out, right? This is life, isn't it?
That's right.
And you have maybe a couple hours in the evening that you can like do something with. But you get home and you're like, I'm so tired, or it's a challenge. It is a challenge. But I think again, with this schedule, again, it can lead to complacency. Or why life wears on me, and it's like, rather than thinking, man, I've got that couple hours, what can I do with that? I can feel, man, I got that couple hours, I just gotta chill. I gotta recover from all this other stuff today. And sometimes that is, we need that. But if we're not careful, that can become complacency. Does that make sense? Yeah. Again, it's different when you're in the ministry, right? I mean, there are their own challenges being in the ministry, but it's slightly different. So this is kind of a new thing for me. Here's the other one that I feel like is a real safe place for me, in a bad way, like a safe place, is materialism. I think it's very easy when you have a career to start thinking about, what do I really want to build in this life? What is the picture of the life that I want? The white picket fence and the on and on and on how that goes, right? The dog and the blah 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 tire swing or whatever. I don't know about tire swings. But it can be very easy to become, I don't know if I would say obsessed, but certainly very mindful, overly mindful of this vision that we have for our lives in the future. To become very comfortable and to put a lot of effort and sacrifice even into creating this life that we want. And again, there is some wisdom there that is good, but on the other side, I don't see Jesus really focused on that as much as I think modern America does. As much as modern New York does. And if I'm honest, as much as I do. Often. I don't know if you guys can relate to that.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, so we had to buy a car. You live out of the city, you actually have to get a car and you actually have